They never taught you this in school, but your mind isn't just a processor for thoughts. It's a quantum force, an unseen portal capable of shifting reality itself. The truth is, the way you think, feel, and focus isn't just influencing your life, it's sculpting it. And the people who understand this secret, they don't just react to life, they design it. Most people are trapped, unknowingly running old mental programs that keep them stuck in the same patterns, the same struggles, the same cycles. But here's where things get interesting. Quantum physics is proving what ancient spiritual traditions have known for centuries. Your focus is the key to unlocking alternate realities. Your thoughts? They aren't just inside your head. They're broadcasting signals into the fabric of the universe itself. Right now, you're living in a version of reality shaped by your past beliefs and subconscious patterns. But what if you could change the frequency? What if you could consciously shift timelines, rewrite your story, and step into an entirely new version of yourself? Things isn't just philosophy, it's science. And once you understand how your mind operates at the quantum level, you'll never see reality the same way again. Your mind is not what you think it is. It's not just an organ in your skull processing memories and emotions like a biological computer. It is something far greater. It is a quantum mechanism, a portal, a gateway between dimensions of possibility. Right now, you exist in a version of reality shaped by your beliefs, habits, and subconscious conditioning. But that reality isn't fixed. It's not solid. It's fluid, shifting, responding to the signals you emit every second of every day. The question isn't whether you have control, it's whether you've realized it yet. Science is only beginning to understand what ancient mystics have known for centuries. Consciousness isn't just an observer of reality, it's an architect. The famous double-slit experiment in quantum physics proved that observation changes outcomes. When electrons are watched, they behave differently, as if reality itself is waiting for instruction. If mere observation shifts the material world on a quantum level, imagine what focused intention, emotion, and belief can do. What if you are already shaping your reality without even knowing it? Your thoughts aren't passive. They are electrical signals, firing through neural pathways, generating electromagnetic fields that extend beyond your body. Every emotion you feel is a frequency, sending a message into the unseen fabric of existence. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy instantly? Without a word, you can sense tension, joy, unease. That's because energy is real, and you are transmitting yours every moment, influencing what unfolds around you. If you feel stuck in your life, if you've been caught in the same patterns, the same struggles, the same limiting experiences, it's not because the world is working against you, it's because your mind is locked into a loop, replaying the same frequencies, attracting the same results. But the moment you become aware of this, you gain power over it. You don't have to be a prisoner to old thoughts, conditioned responses, and external programming. You can tune your mind like a radio, shifting into new frequencies, aligning with entirely different possibilities. Nothing in this universe is truly solid. At a subatomic level, everything is in motion. Even the chair you're sitting in, the walls around you, your own body, it's all vibrating energy. Nikola Tesla understood this when he said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. The thoughts you think, the emotions you hold, the beliefs you carry, they all have frequency, and just like a tuning fork, they resonate with matching energies in the universe. If you constantly dwell on fear, scarcity, and limitation, you will vibrate at that frequency and life will reflect it back to you. If you shift your internal state to abundance, clarity, and possibility, you will start aligning with those experiences instead. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of vibration in action. The question is, how do you harness it? How do you consciously take control of the signals you're emitting and step into a reality of your choosing? The first step is awareness. Most people are asleep in their own lives, running on autopilot, reacting rather than creating. But the moment you become aware that your mind is shaping your world, you begin to take your power back. Start noticing your dominant thoughts. Are they empowering or limiting? Are they expansive or restrictive? Your thoughts are instructions to the quantum field. They are signals that reality follows. change the signal, and reality must adjust. The second step is emotional alignment. Thoughts alone are not enough. Emotions amplify the frequency. If you say, "I am abundant," but feel lack and desperation, the universe responds to the dominant vibration, desperation, not abundance. You must feel the reality of what you want before it arrives. This is where most people struggle. They wait for external proof before they allow themselves to feel differently. But that's not how this works. The mind must shift first, and the external world will follow. Think of it like a radio. You don't sit in your car waiting for a station to start playing before you tune in. You set the frequency first, and then the music comes through. Your life operates the same way. If you want to experience a new reality, you must attune yourself to it internally first. You must embody the energy of the reality you wish to experience. If you want more peace, cultivate the feeling of peace. If you want more success, generate the feeling of success. If you want love, radiate love. Science now understands that the human brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you vividly picture something in your mind, your brain responds as if it is actually happening. This is why elite athletes visualize winning before stepping onto the field. Their minds are trained to expect success and their bodies follow. This isn't just a mindset trick, it's neural programming. Your brain fires in response to the images and emotions you hold most frequently. And over time, those neural pathways strengthen, creating new default patterns. The third step is breaking the illusion of limitation. From childhood, you've been taught that reality is rigid, that you must operate within certain rules, that life happens to you, not through you. But what if that's the biggest lie of all? What if limitation is nothing more than a deeply ingrained belief? Every great innovator, visionary, and creator in history has one thing in common. They refused to accept the limitations imposed by the world. They saw beyond what was into what could be, and because they held that vision, they pulled it into existence. You are doing the same thing right now, whether you realize it or not. Your life, as it is today, is a reflection of your most consistent thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns. If you want to change your external world, you must first change your internal one. You must break free from mental loops that keep you locked in the same experiences. And the way to do that is by shifting your focus, your energy, and your consciousness to a higher level. The final step is mastering the power of the present moment. Most people live trapped in the past or anxious about the future, never realizing that their true power exists now. The past is gone. The future is unwritten. The only moment that holds any creative power is this one. The more present you become, the more you detach from old patterns and open yourself to new possibilities. This is why meditation is so powerful. It trains your mind to stop running on old programs and instead exist in the space of infinite potential. Right now you have a choice. You can continue operating under the old paradigm where life feels random, where circumstances dictate your experience, where you react instead of create. Or you can step into a higher understanding, where your mind is no longer just an observer of reality but a conscious sculptor of it. Every thought, every emotion, every moment of focus is either reinforcing an old timeline or shifting you into a new one. Your mind is the key. Your awareness is the doorway. Your focus is the force that directs the flow of reality itself. You were never meant to be powerless. You were never meant to be at the mercy of circumstances. You are a quantum being, existing in a universe that responds to your very essence. The moment you realize this, everything changes. The moment you claim your power, the portal opens. The only question is, are you ready to step through? Your reality is not as fixed as you've been led to believe. Every second you are shifting between infinite possibilities, navigating a sea of potential timelines without even realizing it. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs act as coordinates, locking you into a particular version of existence. Most people don't see it because they've been conditioned to believe in a rigid, unchanging world. But the truth is, the universe is fluid. Quantum physics has already confirmed this. Nothing is truly solid, everything is energy, and energy moves, flows, responds. Right now your mind is broadcasting a signal, a vibrational frequency, that determines what reality reflects back to you. Think of it like a tuning fork. If you strike a tuning fork and place it next to another, the second fork will begin to vibrate at the same frequency. This is resonance. This is exactly how your consciousness interacts with the quantum field. What you think, what you feel, what you expect, it all sends out a frequency that draws matching experiences into your life. This is why patterns repeat, why certain emotions seem to attract more of the same, why your life might feel like it's running on a loop. But here's the part that changes everything. If reality is responding to your internal state, then by shifting your internal state you can shift your reality. The problem is, most people don't do this consciously. They live in reaction mode, believing that their emotions are dictated by circumstances, that their beliefs are shaped by experience, that life is happening to them instead of through them. But when you understand that your mind is a quantum portal, everything flips. You stop reacting. You start creating. Science has already shown that your brain is not a fixed structure. It is constantly rewiring itself, adapting, evolving. This is called neuroplasticity. Every thought you think is strengthening or weakening neural pathways. Repetition reinforces them. The more you think a thought, the easier it becomes to think it again. This is why people get stuck. They loop the same worries, the same doubts, the same limitations over and over again until their brain makes them automatic. But just as the brain can be programmed into limitation, it can be reprogrammed into expansion. Your subconscious mind is the key. It is the part of you that controls 95% of your daily actions, reactions, and behaviors. It is always listening, always absorbing, always shaping your reality based on the dominant thoughts and emotions you feed it. But here's what most people don't realize. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and imagined. It only responds to repetition and emotion. This is why visualization works. This is why affirmations, when done correctly, can rewire the mind. The more vividly you see something, the more deeply you feel it, the more your subconscious accepts it as truth. And once it accepts it as truth, reality follows. Think about it. When you recall a painful memory, your body reacts as if it's happening again. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, your breath shortens. Why? Because your brain is reliving it. Now imagine doing the opposite. Imagine deliberately creating a mental experience so powerful that your subconscious begins responding to it as reality. This is what elite athletes do. This is what top performers across every field do. They don't wait for proof. They train their mind to expect the outcome they want, and by doing so they collapse the quantum wave of possibility into certainty. This is the power of directed consciousness. Your mind is not a passive observer of reality, it is an active participant. But to truly harness it, you must learn to take control of what you focus on. Focus is everything. Your attention is the most valuable resource you have because wherever you place it, you send energy. Whatever you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on problems, struggles, and limitations, you reinforce them. If you focus on possibility, expansion, and transformation, you amplify those instead. The challenge is that most people don't consciously choose their focus. Their attention is hijacked by distractions, by external programming, by old mental loops that have been running for years. If you want to shift your reality, you must reclaim your mind. You must become aware of what you are giving energy to, moment by moment, because every second you are either reinforcing an old timeline or stepping into a new one. There are infinite versions of you existing in parallel right now. The version of you that is healthy, confident, abundant, fulfilled. It already exists. The question is, are you tuning into that version, or are you locked into a lower frequency? You shift between timelines every time you make a decision, every time you change your state, every time you break an old pattern and choose a new response. This is what real transformation looks like. It's not magic, it's alignment. Your body is an instrument, a bioelectrical system designed to interpret energy. This is why emotions are so powerful. They are not just chemical reactions. They are frequency signals, indicators of your alignment or misalignment. When you feel joy, gratitude, inspiration, your energy is expanding. When you feel fear, doubt, anxiety, your energy is contracting. Your emotions are the language of the universe, constantly guiding you toward the path of least resistance. The fastest way to shift into a new reality is to embody the emotions of that reality before it arrives. This is where most people get stuck. They think, I'll feel happy when I have what I want. I'll feel abundant when money comes. I'll feel successful when I see proof. But this is backwards. The universe doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to embodied frequency. If you want abundance, start cultivating the emotions of abundance now. If you want love, start radiating love now. If you want freedom, start embodying the energy of freedom now. The universe is a mirror, always reflecting back what you broadcast. The reason change often feels slow is because people are trying to change their external world without changing their internal state. But the moment you shift within, everything around you begins shifting to match. The right people, opportunities, and circumstances start appearing, not because they were never there, but because you finally tuned into the frequency where they exist. The mind is a quantum portal, but the doorway only opens in the present moment. The past is just a memory. The future is just potential. The only place where transformation happens is now. Most people keep delaying their shift because they are waiting for something outside of them to change first. But reality does not work that way. Reality follows consciousness. When you decide that change is happening now, when you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the version of yourself you wish to become, the shift is inevitable. So the question is no longer whether you have control. You do. The question is whether you will use it, whether you will take responsibility for the energy you are putting into the field, whether you will become intentional with your focus, your emotions, and your choices. Every thought is a seed. Every feeling is a frequency. Every moment is an opportunity to step into a new reality. You are not separate from the universe. You are not at its mercy. You are its expression. And the moment you claim that truth, the portal opens, the shift begins. The power is in your hands. It always has been. The only thing left is to decide what you will do with it. Reality is bending around you right now, responding to your every thought, your every emotion, your every focus. But most people are blind to this. They move through life unaware that the very fabric of existence is waiting for instruction, waiting for a command, waiting for clarity. Your mind is not just a collection of neurons firing randomly. It is a beacon, a transmitter, a force so powerful that every ancient tradition, every mystical teaching, every cutting-edge scientific discovery points to the same truth. Consciousness directs energy, and energy shapes reality. Think about the moments in your life when things just seemed to align perfectly, when the right person showed up at the right time, when an idea, a gut feeling, a sudden inspiration pulled you in a direction that changed everything. That wasn't coincidence. That was resonance. That was you, even if unconsciously, tuning into a frequency that matched your desires. Now imagine if you did it deliberately. Imagine if you trained your mind to shift, to focus, to align so powerfully that reality had no choice but to follow. The problem is, most people live as if reality is fixed, as if life is a series of random events outside of their control, as if they are just one small person in a vast, indifferent universe. But that's the illusion. The truth is, the moment you shift your consciousness, the world around you shifts as well. Your thoughts send out electromagnetic pulses. Your emotions amplify them. Your beliefs create the blueprint. And the quantum field, the energy matrix that makes up everything you see, rearranges itself to match. But the mind is tricky. It has been conditioned to hold on to old patterns, to replay the same thoughts, to recycle the same emotional states over and over again. And so, the same results appear, the same problems, the same struggles, not because they are inevitable, but because they are familiar. This is why people feel stuck, not because they are powerless, but because they are unaware that they have already been shaping their reality this entire time. The mind is a quantum portal, but most people never learn how to use it. The first step is breaking the illusion of permanence. Nothing in this universe is truly solid. Not your problems, not your identity, not your circumstances. On a quantum level, everything is shifting, changing, rearranging in response to energy. What you call reality is just a collection of probabilities, of infinite possibilities, collapsing into form based on your perception. Change the perception, and the probability field shifts. Change your beliefs, and a new reality emerges. This is why the past does not define you. The only thing keeping you tied to past struggles, past limitations, past failures is your attachment to them. The moment you release the emotional charge around an event, the moment you stop identifying with an old story, the moment you shift your perspective, the energy reorganizes. You are not bound to the past. You are not locked into one timeline. You are not a fixed being. You are a dynamic force, capable of shifting, of transcending, of stepping into an entirely new version of yourself. But the shift has to start internally. The external world is just a reflection. If you keep waiting for your circumstances to change before you feel different, you will always be waiting. You must become the source. You must generate the energy of the reality you want before it arrives. You must feel abundance before the money comes. You must feel love before the relationship manifests. You must feel freedom before the opportunities appear. This is not delusion. This is how reality works. This is how the quantum field responds. It does not bring you what you want. It brings you what you are. And this is where most people get it wrong. They set intentions, but they contradict them with doubt, with fear, with hesitation. They say they want change, but they live in the energy of lack, of frustration, of waiting. The universe does not listen to words. It listens to frequency. And when your dominant frequency is misaligned with what you say you want, you stay stuck. But the moment you shift, truly shift, the external begins to move. The synchronicities start happening, the right doors open, the impossible becomes possible. But you must be willing to step beyond the mind's old patterns. You must train yourself to become conscious of the thoughts you allow, the emotions you cultivate, the focus you maintain. Because the mind is not just a processor, it is a creator. And it will create whatever it is most familiar with, whether you like it or not. This is why people manifest the very things they fear. This is why cycles repeat. This is why change feels difficult, because the mind resists the unfamiliar, even if the unfamiliar is what you actually want. So you must become aware. You must learn to observe your thoughts, not as absolute truths, but as possibilities, as choices. The moment you catch yourself slipping into an old pattern of lack, of worry, of limitation, stop, interrupt it, shift it, choose something new. Because in that moment you are choosing between timelines. In that moment you are either stepping into an expanded version of yourself or reinforcing the old one. And this is where the quantum leap happens. Not through force, not through struggle, but through alignment. When you stop fighting the old and start fully embodying the new. When you stop hoping, wishing, waiting, and start becoming. When you feel, in every cell of your being, that the reality you desire is not outside of you, but already within you, vibrating, forming, materializing in perfect timing. Your mind is the portal, your emotions are the frequency, your beliefs are the commands, your focus is the key. The only thing standing between you and the reality you want is your willingness to truly see, truly feel, and truly believe in a new way of being. Reality does not happen to you, it happens through you. And the moment you take ownership of that truth, you stop waiting for change. You become it. Everything you desire already exists, in potential. The version of you who has what you want, who lives the life you dream of, who walks in absolute clarity and confidence, that version is real. The only question is, are you tuning into it? Are you aligning with it? Are you choosing it in this moment? Because that is all it takes. One choice, one shift, one moment of full awareness to open the portal to an entirely new reality. This is not something outside of you, this is who you have always been. A quantum being in an infinite universe, creating with every thought, every emotion, every breath. The power has always been in your hands. The shift has always been within your reach. The only thing left is to step through. Your mind is shifting reality at this very moment. Whether you realize it or not, every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold is influencing the field of possibilities around you. But most people go their entire lives unaware of this power. They wake up and repeat the same habits, the same routines, the same thoughts from yesterday, unknowingly reinforcing the same version of reality over and over again. They mistake this repetition for stability, for normalcy, for a life that is simply happening to them. But what if that's the illusion? What if, right now, you are standing at the threshold of an entirely different reality, a new version of yourself waiting to be activated, a parallel timeline that already exists and is just waiting for you to step into it? Science has already revealed what the ancient mystics have been teaching for centuries. The mind is not just a passive observer of reality, it is a force of creation. Quantum mechanics has proven that particles do not take a fixed state until they are observed, meaning that reality is fundamentally uncertain, fluid, and responsive. The implications of this are staggering. If observation alters the material world at the smallest level, then consciousness itself is the sculptor of experience. Your focus, your attention, your awareness, it is all shaping the field of energy that surrounds you. Think about the moments in your life when things just seem to align effortlessly. When you were thinking about someone and they suddenly called. When an opportunity appeared at just the right moment. When a problem you were struggling with suddenly resolved itself in an unexpected way. These moments are not accidents. They are glimpses into how reality actually works when you are in alignment with it. Most people dismiss them as luck, as chance, as meaningless coincidence. But nothing is random. Everything is responding to the energy you put out. Your thoughts are electrical, your emotions are magnetic. Together they generate a field around you that interacts with the quantum universe. Every second you are broadcasting a signal, and the universe is matching it. This is why patterns repeat, why cycles seem impossible to break, why some people seem to effortlessly attract success, while others struggle endlessly. It is not because of luck. It is because of alignment. The question is not whether this power exists. The question is whether you are using it consciously or unconsciously. Right now, your subconscious mind is running programs, most of which were installed when you were a child, before you even had the ability to question them. These programs shape your expectations, your reactions, your perception of what is possible. If you were taught that money is scarce, your subconscious will look for confirmation of that belief. If you are conditioned to believe that love is painful, you will unconsciously seek out situations that reinforce that experience. This is not because you are doomed to repeat the past. It is because the subconscious mind operates like a powerful computer, running whatever software has been installed. The good news is that software can be rewritten. The first step is awareness. You must start observing the thoughts you think on a daily basis. Not just the obvious ones, but the subtle ones, the background noise of your mind that dictates your reality without you even realizing it. How often do you expect things to go wrong? How often do you assume limitations? How often do you tell yourself the same story about who you are and what you are capable of? Every thought is an instruction. Every assumption is a command. The more you repeat a thought, the stronger it becomes, embedding itself into the neural pathways of your brain, turning into a belief, a filter through which you experience life. If you want to shift your reality, you must shift the energy you emit. You cannot create a new reality while holding on to the emotions of the old one. You cannot step into abundance while vibrating at the frequency of scarcity. You cannot manifest love while radiating fear. This is why people struggle. They set intentions, but they contradict them with doubt, with worry, with frustration. They think they need to see proof before they believe, but the universe does not work that way. Proof follows belief. Reality follows the signal you put out. The fastest way to shift timelines is through emotion. Not just thoughts, but feelings. The body does not distinguish between a real experience and an imagined one. When you close your eyes and vividly picture yourself in the reality you desire, when you feel it in your body, when you generate the emotions of already having it, you are sending out a new signal. You are shifting frequencies. You are aligning with the version of you that already exists in that reality. This is not fantasy, this is science. Your brain, your nervous system, your entire energy field begins to match the new state, and once the alignment is strong enough, reality has no choice but to reflect it back. People who understand this don't just live differently, they create differently. They no longer wait for external circumstances to change before they feel different. They change their internal state first, knowing that the external world will adjust accordingly. This is why gratitude is so powerful. When you feel grateful for something before it has even arrived, you are embodying the energy of already having it. You are collapsing the timeline between where you are and where you want to be. The universe responds by delivering experiences that match the energy you are holding. But shifting into a new reality requires letting go of the old one, and this is where most people hesitate. They cling to old beliefs, old habits, old versions of themselves because it feels safe, because it feels familiar, because stepping into the unknown requires trust. But nothing changes until you do. You cannot bring your old self into a new timeline. You must release, dissolve, transcend the past version of yourself to step into something greater. Your mind is a quantum portal. Every thought is a choice. Every emotion is a frequency. Every belief is a reality waiting to unfold. You have been shifting timelines your entire life, but now you are being invited to do it consciously, to stop reacting and start creating, to stop waiting and start embodying, to stop believing in limitation and start claiming the truth of who you are. This is not about wishful thinking, this is about mastery. This is about becoming aware of your own energy, your own patterns, your own infinite potential. This is about stepping into the version of you that already exists beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the illusions that have kept you small. This is about remembering that you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself through consciousness. The moment you decide to shift, the shift begins. The moment you claim a new reality, the path unfolds. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is your willingness to believe in it before you see it, to feel it before it arrives, to align with it before it manifests. That is the key. That is the portal. That is the power you have always had. You are the creator. You always have been. The only question is, what will you choose to create next? Everything you see, everything you experience, everything you believe to be real is being shaped right now by the frequency you hold within. Your mind is not just a place where thoughts arise. It is an instrument of creation, a portal through which reality itself is filtered, decoded, and materialized. Every second, whether you realize it or not, you are standing at a crossroads of infinite possibilities. You are shifting between timelines, aligning with different versions of yourself, stepping into new realities based on the choices you make, not just the actions you take, but the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you cultivate, and the energy you embody. Most people don't realize this. They wake up, step into the same habits, think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and assume that life is just happening to them. But that's the illusion. Life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. It is mirroring back to you the sum total of what you hold inside. The version of reality you see is just one possibility out of an infinite number of timelines, an infinite number of outcomes. The only reason it feels solid, the only reason it feels unchangeable is because your focus, your energy, your subconscious programming has been conditioned to accept it as truth. But truth is fluid, it bends, it shifts, it evolves with you. The moment you change your perception, you change your reality. The moment you change your energy, the world around you rearranges to match it. The mistake most people make is thinking they need to wait for proof before they believe in a new possibility. They wait for the external world to shift before they allow themselves to feel different. But the universe does not work like that. The external does not change first, the internal does. And once the internal shifts, the external follows. Everything is vibration. This is not metaphor, this is physics. The entire universe is made up of frequencies. Your body, your thoughts, your emotions, even the objects around you. Nothing is truly solid. At the subatomic level, everything is moving, everything is oscillating, everything is energy. And energy is always interacting. When you think a thought, you send out a frequency. When you feel an emotion, you amplify it. When you believe something with certainty, you lock yourself into that frequency, and reality reflects it back to you like a mirror. If you've ever noticed how certain people seem to attract abundance effortlessly while others seem to struggle endlessly, It's not random, it's not luck, it's alignment. They are tuned to a different frequency. Their internal world matches the external world they desire, and because of that, reality has no choice but to comply. This is why patterns repeat. This is why cycles continue. If your dominant frequency is one of lack, struggle, and frustration, then your subconscious mind will filter reality to confirm those experiences. Not because the universe is against you, but because that is the signal you are broadcasting. And yet, the moment you shift your frequency, the moment you step into a new vibration, everything changes. People, opportunities, synchronicities begin appearing, not because they were never there, but because you finally tuned into them. Think of it like a radio. Every station is broadcasting simultaneously, but you only hear the one you're tuned into. Reality works the same way. The frequency of abundance is already here. The frequency of love is already here. The frequency of joy, expansion, success, freedom, it's all here. But you must tune into it. You must shift internally before the external world adjusts. Most people don't do this consciously. They live on autopilot, reacting to what is instead of creating what could be. But the moment you become aware, the moment you understand that your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs are sculpting reality, you take back control. You begin to consciously choose the frequencies you hold, rather than defaulting to the ones you inherited, the ones rooted in fear, limitation, and doubt. The easiest way to shift your timeline, to quantum leap into a new version of yourself, is to embody the energy of that reality now. Not tomorrow, not when things get better, now. You must feel it before it arrives. You must align with it before it manifests. You must become it before you see proof. The greatest trap is waiting. Waiting for external validation. Waiting for circumstances to shift. Waiting for a sign that it's working. But waiting keeps you in limbo. Waiting tells the universe you are not ready. The universe does not respond to hope. It responds to certainty. It responds to embodiment. When you fully step into the energy of what you desire, when you claim it with unwavering belief, when you feel it in every cell of your being, you collapse the timeline between wanting and having, between imagining and experiencing. But shifting requires trust. It requires releasing the old story. It requires detaching from the version of yourself that is rooted in past limitations. You cannot step into a new reality while clinging to the frequency of the old one. You must let go of the thoughts that keep you trapped. You must break the emotional addictions that tether you to familiar struggles. You must unlearn the belief systems that tell you it has to be hard, that you are not worthy, that transformation takes time. None of that is real. None of that is absolute. It is only real if you accept it. It is only real if you believe it. The moment you reject it, the moment you decide to step into a higher truth, you set yourself free. Look at your life right now, every aspect of it. Your relationships, your finances, your health, your level of fulfillment. All of it is a reflection of your past energy, your past focus, your past vibration. If you do not like what you see, change the signal you are broadcasting. Change the way you think. Change the way you feel. Change the way you carry yourself in every moment, and the world around you will shift accordingly. This is not theory, this is law. You are more powerful than you have been taught. You are more in control than you have ever realized. The external world is not in charge, you are. And the moment you reclaim that truth, the moment you stop handing your power to circumstances, the moment you decide to take full responsibility for the energy you hold, you unlock the portal to infinite possibilities. You begin to navigate reality in a way that most people will never understand. You step out of the illusion of limitation and into the awareness that you are the architect of it all. So the question is not whether you can shift timelines. You are already doing it. The question is, are you choosing the reality you want, or are you unconsciously recreating the one you fear? The moment you realize this, everything changes. The moment you stop looking at what is and start focusing on what could be, the world around you begins rearranging itself in ways that seem miraculous. But it is not a miracle. It is just how reality works when you finally learn to use your mind as the quantum portal that it is. Everything you desire, everything you have ever imagined, everything you once thought was out of reach is already here, already waiting, already available to you. The only thing left is for you to decide, to choose it, to step into it, to embody it now with every thought, every emotion, every belief, because once you do, once you align completely, once you truly claim it, reality will have no choice but to shift in response. This is the secret that has always been in front of you. This is the truth that has always been waiting to be realized. And now that you know it, now that you feel it, now that you understand it, the only thing left is to act on it, to become it, to stop waiting and start shifting. Because the portal is open. The question is, will you step through? Every thought you think is a door, every emotion a key, every belief a pathway leading you to a version of reality that already exists. The question is never whether you are creating, you are, right now. The only question is, are you doing it consciously, or are you running old programs, reliving past versions of yourself, unknowingly pulling the same experiences into your life over and over again? Your mind is a quantum portal. But if you do not direct it with intention, it will default to the patterns it has known. It will keep playing the same song, the same story, the same limitations, because that is what feels familiar. But familiar does not mean true. Comfortable does not mean aligned. Just because you have lived one way does not mean you must continue. At any moment you have the power to step into something new. Reality is not something you chase, it is something you align with. Most people believe they need to work harder, do more, force things to happen, struggle their way into a better life. But the universe does not respond to effort. It responds to frequency. It responds to the energy you embody. It responds to the version of yourself that you show up as in every moment. If you are waiting for success to feel abundant, you will keep waiting. If you are waiting for love to feel whole, you will keep waiting. If you are waiting for a sign to move forward, you will keep waiting, because waiting is a state of being, a frequency of postponement, a declaration to the universe that you are not yet ready. And so, reality mirrors that waiting, reinforcing the illusion that what you want is somewhere out there, instead of right here, within you, waiting to be chosen. You are not here to beg the universe for what is already yours. You are not here to prove your worth, to struggle your way to happiness, to ask for permission to step into the life that was always meant for you. The universe does not test you. It does not hold things back. It simply reflects you. It shows you what you are tuned into. If you want something different, you must tune into something different. You must become the version of yourself who already has it, who already feels it, who already knows it is done. This is not pretending. This is alignment. This is stepping into the reality that is already vibrating at the frequency of what you desire. This is collapsing the timeline between now and then, between hoping and having, between wishing and knowing. And yet, most people do not make this shift because they are trapped in the illusion of time. They believe change must be gradual, that transformation must take years, that they must go through struggle, sacrifice, and suffering before they can receive what they desire. But time is not linear. It is not moving forward in a straight line. It is layered, multidimensional, existing all at once. There is a version of you right now who is already living the life you seek. The only difference between that version and the one you are living now is the frequency you hold. The moment you shift, the moment you match the vibration of that reality, the pathway appears, the opportunities unfold, the people, the places, the experiences all begin rearranging themselves to align with your new state of being. This is why the greatest transformations happen in an instant, not because circumstances changed, but because consciousness did. Your only job is to hold the frequency, to stop looking at what is and start vibrating as if what you desire is already here, because the moment you do, it is. The only reason it hasn't arrived is because you are still resonating with the absence of it, still waiting for proof, still attached to old stories, still checking the external world to confirm whether or not your shift is real. But reality does not work that way. The external is always the last to change. Energy moves first. Consciousness shifts first. Belief locks it into place. When you master this, you stop asking, you stop doubting, you stop seeking confirmation, because you know. And when you know, the universe has no choice but to reflect that knowing back to you. The mind loves to complicate things. It wants steps, strategies, explanations, but the truth is simple. Change the energy, change the experience, change the way you see yourself, change the way the world sees you. Shift internally, and the external must follow. This is not a theory, it is a law. You have seen it in your own life. Think about the times when things just flowed, when you felt unstoppable, when doors opened without effort, when synchronicities lined up so perfectly that it felt like magic. It wasn't magic. It was you. It was alignment. It was the natural state of being that you are always capable of stepping into. The key is to stop fighting, to stop resisting, to stop looking at what is and giving it so much power. Most people are addicted to their current reality, addicted to their limitations, addicted to telling the same story because it feels safe, because it feels familiar. But familiar is not freedom. Familiar is not expansion. Familiar is not where you are meant to stay. The unknown, the uncertain, the leap, that is where your power is. That is where you break free. That is where you collapse old timelines and step into the infinite possibilities that have always been waiting for you. You do not have to know how, you do not have to figure out every step. The mind wants to control, but the heart already knows. You are not here to force, you are here to align. You are here to trust. You are here to step so fully into the energy of your future self that reality has no choice but to conform. Because reality does not create your state of being creates reality. The moment you stop waiting, the moment you decide that now is the time, the moment you release every doubt, every fear, every belief that tells you otherwise, that is the moment the shift happens. Not because something outside of you changed, but because you did. And when you change, the entire universe moves with you. Everything you desire is already here, the portal is already open, the reality you seek is already calling you forward. The only question is, are you willing to step into it? Are you willing to trust in your own power? Are you willing to believe before you see? Because the moment you do, the moment you fully claim it, it is done. It has always been done. The universe has only ever been waiting for you to realize it. You are standing at the edge of a decision that will alter the course of your reality. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. Because every thought you think, every belief you hold, every emotion you embody is deciding the version of life you step into. This is not abstract, this is not wishful thinking, this is the way the universe operates at its most fundamental level. The question is, are you directing the shift, or are you letting unconscious patterns decide for you? Because whether you take control or not, the shift is happening. Every moment is a choice. A fork in the road where you are either reinforcing an old frequency or stepping into something new. There is no pause. There is no waiting. The only thing that exists is the energy you are broadcasting right now. Most people live trapped in an illusion. The illusion that change takes time, that reality is fixed, that the past determines the future. But none of that is real. It only feels real because it has been repeated so many times that it has become familiar. But what is familiar is not necessarily true. And the moment you realize this, the moment you stop believing in the limits you've been handed, the moment you decide that your reality is yours to shape, everything begins to move. The moment you stop waiting for signs and start living as if what you desire is already yours, the shift is instantaneous. Not because the universe suddenly gives you permission, but because you finally allow yourself to step into the frequency where your desire already exists. This is what most people miss. They spend their lives looking at what is, measuring their progress, checking for proof, waiting for validation before they believe. But the external world is always a reflection of the past. It is a projection of old energy, old focus, old identity. If you only believe in what you can see, you are locking yourself into the past. You are reinforcing the very limitations you wish to escape. The shift happens the moment you understand that what you desire is not in the future. It is here, now. The only thing separating you from it is your ability to hold the vibration of it before it arrives. Every great transformation in history happened because someone refused to accept the limitations of their current reality. They saw beyond. They aligned with a future that did not yet exist, and because they aligned with it so completely, reality had no choice but to rearrange itself to match. This is not reserved for a select few. This is how reality works for everyone, all the time. The only difference between those who create miracles and those who stay stuck is the willingness to believe in a reality before it shows up. Your mind is a quantum portal. You are not moving through time, you are moving through versions of yourself. Every time you make a new choice, every time you shift your perspective, every time you embody a new frequency, you are stepping into a different timeline. This is why the past does not matter. This is why struggle is unnecessary. This is why the only thing that determines your future is what you are choosing to vibrate with in this moment. You do not have to fight for your new reality. You do not have to chase it. You simply have to align with it so fully that everything else becomes irrelevant. The shift is not something you wait for. The shift is something you become. And the only thing that keeps you from becoming it is the belief that you are not already there. The moment you let go of every story that tells you it is far away, the moment you stop looking at circumstances as proof of what is possible, the moment you decide that your reality is dictated by your consciousness and nothing else, the quantum leap occurs. Because time does not create change, awareness does. The universe is already responding to you, it always has been. You do not need to beg, you do not need to prove yourself, you do not need to struggle to be worthy of what is already yours. The only thing required is alignment with the version of you who already has it, the version of you who is already living in the frequency of abundance, of love, of freedom, of purpose. That version of you exists right now, and the only reason you are not living in that reality is because your focus is still tuned to the absence of it, instead of the embodiment of it. You are shifting realities in every moment, whether you realize it or not. You are either moving into expansion or contraction. You are either stepping into possibility or reinforcing limitation. Every thought is a vote for the future you are creating. Every emotion is a frequency pulling you toward a timeline. The question is, are you choosing consciously? Or are you letting old programming choose for you? The illusion of effort is one of the greatest traps of the mind. It tells you that you must struggle to get where you want to go. It convinces you that transformation requires force, that manifestation requires waiting, that alignment is something that takes time. But time is just a measurement of change. And change is instantaneous the moment you shift your consciousness. This is why some people struggle for years and see no movement, while others make a decision and everything aligns overnight. It is not about time, it is about frequency. And the moment you hold the frequency of the reality you desire with absolute certainty, it must appear. Most people hesitate to believe in their own power because they are afraid of disappointment. They do not trust themselves to sustain the frequency of a new reality, so they settle for what is familiar. They fear stepping fully into their desires because they have been conditioned to believe that what they want is fragile, that it could be taken away, that it is safer to stay small than to reach for something greater. But that fear is just another frequency, another illusion, another timeline that does not have to be chosen. The truth is, the moment you decide that your new reality is inevitable, the moment you claim it as if it is already here, the moment you stop entertaining the possibility of failure, the universe responds. It cannot do anything else. It is a mirror, reflecting your deepest beliefs, your dominant emotions, your unwavering or wavering certainty. There is no force keeping you from what you want. There is no external resistance. There is only the choice to align or not align. The moment you align fully, reality moves, doors open, circumstances shift, opportunities appear, not because they were never there, but because you finally tuned into the frequency where they exist. This is why people who succeed seem unstoppable. It is not because they never fail, it is because failure does not exist in their reality. They do not see obstacles as proof that they are not meant for something. They do not see delays as evidence that it isn't working. They are so locked into the knowing of their outcome that nothing can shake them. And because of that, their reality bends. This is how manifestation works. This is how reality shifts. This is the secret that has been hidden in plain sight all along. Your mind is the portal. Your focus is the key. Your belief is the activator. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is your willingness to step into it before it arrives, to hold the frequency of it before you see proof, to embody the energy of it so completely that reality has no choice but to rearrange itself around you. This is not something outside of you, this is who you are. This is how powerful you have always been. The shift is already happening, the portal is already open, the reality you seek is already waiting. The only question is, will you choose it now? You have always had this power, not just to think, not just to dream, but to shift, to command reality itself through the frequency you choose to hold. The illusion was never that you were powerless. The illusion was that you ever needed permission. The moment you recognize this, the moment you take full ownership of the energy you emit, the universe bends. This is not philosophy. This is not speculation. This is the nature of existence. You are not separate from the fabric of reality. You are the fabric of reality, folding and unfolding in response to your state of being. And the moment you fully realize this, hesitation disappears, doubt disappears, waiting disappears. Because you finally see that everything you desire is already here, already accessible, already waiting for you to claim it. There is no need to chase, no need to force, no need to struggle against what is. You shift the moment you decide, not intellectually, not half-heartedly, but fully, energetically, completely. The version of you who is already living the reality you seek is not just an idea, it is a frequency. It is a state of consciousness that already exists, waiting for you to step into it. And the way you step into it is not by looking at what is and hoping it changes, it is by embodying the energy of that future now, by thinking as if it is already done, by feeling as if you have already arrived, by acting as if the outcome is inevitable, because once you do, it is. This is the part that most people miss. They wait for external proof before they believe, but proof does not come before belief. Belief creates proof. The reality you want is not something to be found, it is something to be tuned into. And if you are waiting, if you are looking at circumstances to tell you whether or not you are on the right path, you are missing the point entirely. The world does not change first, you do. And when you change, when you shift, when you decide with absolute certainty that the new reality is already yours, everything else moves to match. Time does not create transformation. Time only measures the distance between alignment and doubt. The moment you collapse that distance, the shift is instant. This is why some people struggle for years and nothing changes, while others make one decision and their entire life transforms overnight. It has nothing to do with effort. It has nothing to do with deserving. It has everything to do with certainty, with embodying the state of being that makes the old reality impossible to sustain. Because when you fully step into a new frequency, when you fully claim a new version of yourself, the old version dissolves, not through force, not through effort, but because it no longer matches your state of being. This is the nature of quantum reality. Every possibility already exists. Every timeline is already unfolding, and the only thing that determines which one you experience is you, what you focus on, what you believe, what you expect, what you allow. The universe is not testing you, it is not delaying you, it is responding to you. It is mirroring back the energy you hold in every moment. And the moment you stop seeing obstacles as signs to stop, the moment you stop interpreting delays as failures, the moment you stop waiting for permission, everything shifts. Because the only thing that ever held you back was the illusion that something outside of you had the power to. You are the source, you are the frequency, you are the signal that reality is following. The universe does not hear your words. It feels your energy. It responds to your dominant vibration. It organizes itself around the state of being you choose. This is why it is impossible to receive abundance while vibrating in lack. This is why you cannot manifest love while feeling unworthy. This is why you cannot step into your highest self while holding on to the energy of who you used to be. The frequency must shift first. The internal state must align first, and once it does, the path appears, the people appear, the opportunities appear, the synchronicities become undeniable, not because they were never there, but because you finally tuned into them. This is how you collapse time. This is how you quantum leap, not by effort, not by struggle, but by knowing, by trusting, by being so locked into the frequency of your desired reality that there is no space for doubt, no space for hesitation, no space for anything that contradicts the new timeline. This is the secret that has always been hidden in plain sight, the secret that explains why some people move effortlessly, why some people break through limitations that hold others back, why some people seem to walk through life with a force behind them clearing the way. It is not luck, it is not magic, it is alignment. It is mastery over frequency. It is the refusal to entertain anything other than what they know to be true. This is the moment where you decide. This is the moment where you stop waiting, stop hoping, stop wishing, and start embodying. Right now, not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, not when things feel easier. Now, because now is all that exists. Now is where you access the version of you that already has everything you desire. Now is where you align so completely that the external world has no choice but to follow. There is no more waiting, there is no more questioning. The shift is already happening. The only thing left to do is step fully into it. You are the portal, you are the key, you are the frequency that the universe is responding to. And in this moment, you choose. Who are you becoming? What timeline are you stepping into? What energy are you holding, not just for a moment, not just when it's easy, but as your default, as your unshakable state of being? Because that choice, right now, is determining everything. The shift is not something you wait for. The shift is something you are. And the moment you become it, the moment you fully claim it, the moment you stop entertaining anything that contradicts it, it is done. It has always been done. The version of you that has already mastered this, the version of you that is already thriving, the version of you that is already fully aligned exists right now. The only question left is, will you step into it? Will you allow it? Will you trust it so completely that nothing can pull you back into the illusion of limitation? Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the reality you desire is your willingness to believe in it before you see it, to embody it before it arrives, to walk as if it is already done. That is the key, that is the portal, that is the shift. And once you understand this, once you live this, reality has no choice but to conform. The only thing left is for you to decide, to hold it, to step through, to never look back. Because the moment you do, the moment you align so completely that doubt is no longer an option, the universe moves, it bends, it rearranges, it accelerates. And suddenly, what once seemed far away is right in front of you. Not because it wasn't always there, but because you finally became the version of you who was ready to receive it. This is the final step. Not waiting, not hoping, becoming now.